Absolutely, Goddess. For every problem, absolutely, Goddess. For every problem that we have as African people, we have to first put a Band-Aid on it to slow the bleeding. But Band-Aids are not solutions. We have to create solutions. And so the Black Parent Advocate book, it's a Band-Aid because the solution is independent educational institutions for our children. But in lieu of that, our parents in St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, the United States, and other U.S. territories, they have to be equipped with the knowledge necessary to protect our children from the exploitative special education system, the parasitic mental health system. And so with Black Parent Advocate, I give parents the tools and weapons they need in order to protect their children from misdiagnosing or poorly conducted psychological evaluations or unfair discipline practices, making sure they understand the psychological evaluation and the IEP and the pre-referral intervention program, making sure they understand what is autism by definition and how does a child qualify for special education services, be it for autism or speech and language or deafness or blindness or traumatic brain injury or the intellectual disability, the orthopedic impairment, and things of that nature. So I try to take this terminology, this technical world of education and mental health and psychology, and break it down in such a way that parents can understand it and also practically apply the techniques that are written in my book. So I'm very proud of the book because I think it's going to save a lot of our mothers and fathers some headache when it comes to saving our children. Now on the other side, so that's my Band-Aid. The books are the Band-Aids. The school is the solution. And so with the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, and I do want to take this time to invite all my brothers and sisters in the U.S. Virgin Islands and across the Caribbean, the entire African family for that matter, throughout the diaspora, to come and be with us this Kwanzaa. We are planning our community grand opening of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. And I do want to say thank you to all the brothers and sisters in St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, across the Caribbean and across the world who have stood by me these past 9 years as we went up and down and through holy hell to get this school purchased and renovated. And we are at the 11:55 mark of the clock. Just a few more minutes and the school will be ready. So I want to say thank you because we do regularly get donations from St. Thomas. We get donations from St. Croix. We get donations from across the Caribbean. And so the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy will probably go down in history as the first school in the world that was totally financed by African people from every continent and probably every country. I will need to double check, but if I'm not mistaken, we have gotten a donation from an African in every country in the world. We may be missing a couple, of course, Europe and the Arab world, but outside of that, every African country, every Central and South American country, every island, I believe we have received donations from. So I want to say thank you for that. Now, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is a leadership institution because we believe that we need leaders in the Black community. And at a time where so many men are trying to scapegoat Black women for our failures as the natural born leaders of our community, I think it's time that we have a school that teaches boys how to be men and greater than that, how to be leaders. And so we are very serious about teaching leadership. You know, many schools have leadership in their title. You know, I've worked at schools that have had leadership in their title. I've been principal at schools that have had leadership in their titles, but they don't really teach leadership. None of the schools that I've been associated with that had leadership in their title ever taught a leadership course. So we will teach leadership as a course. We will be the first school in history that will teach the philosophy of the Honorable Marcus Garvey as a course. We will also teach the philosophy and the works of the Honorable Frederick Douglass as a course. Pan-Africanism will be a course. But in addition to science, math, language, and civics, the 6 core sciences that will underscore our curriculum will be agricultural and agronomical science. Our children will have a farm, and we will teach them how to grow their own food. I have identified 2 Black-owned farms, one in Maryland and one in Delaware, that have agreed to work with us with our agricultural curriculum and with our agricultural program. And our children will be taking excursions to those Black farms and others across the American continent so they can learn on deck, in person, firsthand, how to become professional farmers. Also, there will be agricultural and agronomical curriculum. This is where they learn how to prepare their food. They learn how to measure the nutritional content of the food. This is the eat to live aspect of our curriculum. We want them to be baby Dr. Sebi's. We want them to be masters of naturopathic medicine and holistic health. And then there will be political and military science. Military science, we will teach them African martial arts. There will also be a Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass gun club. They will get their first gun from the school. There will be gun training for our babies. And political science will teach them about the world in which they live that they may one day have to fight in. So why is Africa in the condition that she's in? Why is transgenderism being pushed on prepubescent children who are not even old enough to understand what sex is? Why is Africa the most minerally rich continent in the world, but its people are in the poorest condition? How did Jesus become white? Why were most of our great Black leaders assassinated? This is part of the political science curriculum, because although we need history is critical. We also need political science, understanding the world in which they live in today. A child who is historically conscious but politically stupid is going to be of no benefit to the community. Likewise, a child who is politically conscious and historically stupid will be no good to the community. So we have to make sure they have an understanding of our historical greatness as a people, but that they also have a firm understanding on the contemporary issues that African people are facing in this world. And then we move over to the African spiritual and cosmological curriculum. Our school has a spiritual foundation, and the primary spiritual modality through which we will teach the high sciences of African culture will be Ifa, the system that I personally practice, which comes from the Yoruba kingdom of Nigeria. And so Ifa will be the foundational spiritual system of the FDMG Academy. Children are not forced to practice the culture. So if they are Christians or Muslims or Hebrews or whatever their religion, we will respect their parents' right for them not to participate in any of the activities, but they must learn the system. If a parent is not comfortable with their son learning the system of Ifa and learning the history of traditional African spirituality, then they cannot attend the school. No child can be exempt from any aspect of our curriculum. And then we move over to the economic and financial curriculum number 5. And these are in no particular order. With the economic and financial curriculum, we're going to teach our children the laws of money, investing, the stock market, real estate, business planning. We are going to be very, very serious about the economic aspect of our institution, because we as Black people are in the condition we in partly because we don't have the resources we need in order to empower our fellow brothers and sisters. So we need economics, we need resources, we need money in order to help our people. So we are very, very serious about making sure our young men understand all the various modalities that are available to them as it relates to making money. And we want to tie those economic opportunities to agriculture. We want to tie that to military industrial complex. We want to tie that to the healthcare industry, which is making trillions of dollars off of Black people, but is not curing a single problem that we have. So we want to show our young men, yes, you can become economically successful, but you can do it by serving the needs of your people. You don't have to become rich by being an exploiter or a practicer of the capitalistic system of economics. And then the last curriculum that we have will be the science of the Black man, woman, and child. And this is going to be critical because this is the manhood aspect of what we are doing. We want to teach our young men how to be fathers, how to be uncles, how to be sons, how to be leaders, how to be organizers, how to be activists, how to be revolutionary Pan-African nationalists. And so that, in a nutshell, is the curriculum for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And I do want to say, brothers and sisters who have more questions about the school, come on out tomorrow. Arian's Restaurant. Dr. Umar will be there in the flesh. Come on out, 103 Sub-Base Road. And if you are interested in employment at the school, send me your resume. And you can email your resume to fdmgresumes@gmail.com. Again, that's fdmgresumes@gmail.com. Make sure you include a photo of yourself as well as a cover letter, which tells us who you are and why you would like to work at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Who you are and why you would like to work at the school. And to that point, I also want to say that we will, within a few years after opening, God willing, we will have a virtual school platform. So for young brothers here in St. Thomas and St. Croix and St. John who can't come to the school physically, they'll be able to wake up in the morning, sign in on their laptop, and they will virtually be present in the class, meaning they can see their classmates, see the teacher, and the teacher and classmates can see them. So we are working on a virtual school program for those who cannot physically be at the school. But it is my wish and my dream and my desire, my mission, my goal, and my hope for us to build a Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy right here in St. Thomas, another one in St. Croix, another one in Jamaica, another one in the Bahamas, another one in Bermuda, another one in Nigeria, another one in Australia, another one in London. We want them all over the world. My contribution to the Pan-African struggle is to build independent schools for our children all over the universe. I want to be the superintendent of the first truly revolutionary Pan-Africanist global school system.